We've started getting a lot of emails asking, what are you reading? Well, I'm reading a lot of different things. Recently, this is a great book by Eric Hoffer. It's called The True Believer, Thoughts on the Nature of Mass Movements. I read that one. Hoffer was a longshoreman, a really, really interesting guy, award-winning author, but a blue-collar guy that spent a whole bunch of time thinking about how human beings work. It's a great book. It's short, 152 pages, and if you don't shoot yourself at the end of it, you didn't understand it. Here's what it looks like, The True Believer by Eric Hoffer. Well, Governor Jerry Brown in California, I think they used to call him Moonbeam? Yeah, he was married to Linda Ronstadt, I think, at that time. Well, California put him back in office. Good for them. And he just raised the minimum wage in California to $10 an hour. Most people are really unfamiliar with the minimum wage debate because you say everybody deserves a living wage. That sounds good. That's the issue that we face so often. It sounds so good. Isn't that fair? There's that word again, fair. Well, let me recommend a book to you called Minimum Wage, Maximum Damage. If you go to the Laissez-Faire Book Club, this is a short book, 61 pages, 24 points are outlined about the minimum wage and its absolute destruction. It's well worth reading. Go to the Laissez-Faire Book Club, that's lfb.org, and get this book, Minimum Wage, Maximum Damage. I mentioned earlier a book that I did a little story about, An Elephant and a Rider. Tremendous book written by Jonathan Haidt, The Righteous Mind, Why Good People Are Divided by Politics and Religion. Well worth the money. And if you have an e-reader, you can download it. It's really, really an interesting approach to how we work as human beings. He goes into an expose on Glaucon, which was Plato's brother. And in the Republic, they have a conversation. The conversation is very, very interesting. Would you rather be considered a great guy, even though you're evil and have ill intent? Or would you rather be a person that has wonderful intent and are honorable, but nobody likes you? So he answers that question. In fact, he takes the side of Glaucon rather convincingly. A book was recommended to me via email by Colin Flaherty. And what interested me so much about this book, the foreword, or one of the testimonials, quote, reading Colin Flaherty's book made painfully clear to me that the magnitude of this problem is greater than I had discovered in my own research. He documents both the race riots and the media and political evasions in dozens of cities. Dr. Thomas Sowell. The book is called White Girl Bleed Alot, The Return of Racial Violence to America, written by Colin Flaherty. Now, while I stumbled across Dr. Sowell's comments on White Girl Do Bleed Alot, a book on the same page by Taleeb Starkes popped up. Uncensored, The Uncivil War, Blacks versus Niggers, Confronting the Subculture Within the African American Community. Mr. Starkes reminds me a lot of the person we just mentioned, the longshoreman. He's a blue-collar guy that works for a living who's made unbelievable observations in his own community about the problem that is facing the black culture. Mr. Starkes pulls no punches and is spot on. He lives it. He's in the middle of it. He's a lot like our friend Eric Hoffer. Well worth the read, if you have the courage to read it.
Listen to the old man. Listen to the old man. Listen to the old man when you can.